Hi everyone, this is Sue from Innkeeper's Journal. You know, when I was younger and I was a little girl or growing up with my parents, my dad would get up real early to start his day, and I would always hear him, kind of rustling around and doing stuff, and I'd always jump out of bed and I'd run over and I'd say, "Dad, what you going to do today?" So I decided that now that I'm not working and I have some time at home with this stay-at-home session that we're all in, I'm going to start to work on my journals, and I'm going to call them "What You Going to Do Today." So this is the tea journals that I'm working in. It's a printable from in my store, and I'm going to kind of show you what I'm going to work on today. So let's get started. I decided to add a little color to this page. I stamped a pretty edge in the edge of the page, and I'm just going to thread this ribbon through to add a little color, little pop of color to the page. So I'm going to continue to weave it in and out till I get to the end of the page. After the ribbon is threaded all the way through the page, I decided maybe on the side and the ends of the ribbon I would put a little bead. So I got this pack of beads, and I'm kind of going to search through here just to see which, it has to have a big enough hole so I can get the ribbon through. These are really pretty beads. Okay, I think this is going to be the one. It's got a big enough hole. Kind of like the color. So I'm going to pick out two of those. And I'm going to add them to the ends of the ribbon. After I get the bead on and the ends glued down, I'm going to make sure I adjust it so that it hangs over each end as far as I want. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the paper and glue the ribbon down. So now I have my ribbon through the page with my beads on the ends and the ribbon glued down so that the ribbon is visible from each side. For those of you that maybe didn't see my last video, there is a video on how I make these shabby tabs. So I'll link that below in case you want to go watch me make some of these. I created another little tab, and I have this little piece of lace. I'm going to add this down here just for just a little tuck pocket, and then this tab that I made, I'm going to add to this page right here. It'll be glued on like that. When I got to adding this tab on this page, although what inspired me to make it right away was I liked how it went on, and it went with these pages here. Well, when I turned the page, I didn't really like how it flowed here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of my tabs and maybe make the tabs so it's different on each side. So I'm going to go work on that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I found this tag we made the other day together, and I like this tab on this side, and I like this tab for this side. So I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm going to glue them together so there's a different tab on each side of the page. Just going to cut right down that middle seam. of that one. And then I'm going to cut right down this fold line on this one. And then I gotta glue these two, where's the page? Onto the page. So this one will be here. Like that. I'm going to turn the page. This one will be on this side. Okay, I got my glue on. So I'm going to put them together right at the very top. Line it up best I can. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to put it, I got the glue on there already. I'm going to add it onto my page. I think in the last video I made these and I attached the other one to the page. It was off camera. So I'm kind of lining up the edges of the tab to the edge of the page. I might tear this off. I only want the tab head sticking up. It's not that big a deal, but okay. So there. Now I'm going to add my tab. I feel that it coordinates with this page here, and when I turn the page, now it kind of coordinates this tab with this page. Okay, so once I had it done, I closed the book, and I had this one on there, it said laugh, and then when I closed the book, I thought, well, I should have put the other one on. So I was still able to take that one off and put that one on. So now when I close my book, the little tab says love that sticks out. I think that is just exactly what I wanted for that today. So when I turn the page, I have this folded piece of paper in here, and I decided, well, I'm going to take that other half of the tab, and I'm going to glue it right on here like a seal on that page, folded page. Okay, so I got it all glued on, my little journal page, and I'm going to tuck it right in that pocket there. So, yeah, moving right along in our book. So on the cover, although I like it plain, I just love the look of the book, I am going to try to add some texture to the cover. So I'm going to take this piece of black cardstock, and I'm going to cut it to almost the same exact size. Okay, so I got two of them cut, and I cut them to be just to go inside that black area by, I suppose I left about 1/4 of an inch. And I made two of them because I'm going to try to emboss a design into these, and I don't do that a lot, very seldom. So if I wreck one, I want to have a second one. So I'm going to give that a whirl. Okay, well, I did one. I don't know if you can see, it's got an embossing design in it. My problem is that, I don't know how to emboss. Very seldom have I ever done it. But my plate is this long. My piece of paper is this long. And if I run it all the way through, I don't want the impressions of this edge of the plate on there. So this is what I did. I got my base and my plate on. I'm going to add this kind of watch on here where I think I have it. And I have a little silicone plate mat I put on there. It just seems for me like it presses the design in there a little better. I got my plate on top and put it in my machine. And now I'm going to go was thinking maybe halfway, because then if I have the design coming from the other side, they'll kind of maybe mismatch in the middle, or I'll probably have something in the middle of the journal anyway, or the closure will be there. So, okay, so I'm going to go halfway, and then I'm going to back out. Okay. So I'm going to open up my little sandwich here. And then my impression went about that far onto the paper. So I'm going to turn it around. Kind of line it up again where I pretty much had it before. My silicone back. I'm going to kind of see visually where I kind of ended the roll through. I'm going to put that back on. I'm trying to be careful not to move the paper. Okay, so I'm going to put my sandwich back in the machine and give it a whirl. And kind of watch about there. So I'm going to back it out. It's also fun to see what you have. Look at what I do. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so now, I don't know which side is better, the back or the front. But that's what I'm going to put into the top of my book. Now, I'll have to decide if I'm going to do some kind of, you know, painting or staining to bring the pattern out a little more or what. But that's what I'm working on today. What you doing today? Well, I decided I'm going to try to add some gold onto the top, the part of the design that's coming up out of the paper. So I have this gold leaf rub and buff. So I'm going to add just a very little bit onto this paper towel. And, you know, this is, I don't know how, this is how you do it, but that's how I'm going to do it. And I don't want too much on there, so I'm going to take my finger and just take it off so it's just, you know, barely dry. I started a little bit here, and it seemed to be working, so I thought, well, I'm going to kind of show you what I'm doing. So then I just go to the paper and just lightly go over, and the gold kind of gets picked up on those embossed areas. Can you see that? Okay, so now I'm going to put some more back on the paper. Like it's just very, very dry. Okay, so I'm going to try some more. I'll rub it off. Oops, you know, that's too much, but, you know, it's the first time I've ever done that. Can't be perfect at it right away. You know, if it really drives me crazy, I'm sure I can take something black and fill in where it got in too deep. I'm just going to keep kind of going over it. Okay, get it up again. And I want it kind of pronounced a little bit, lustrous, or whatever the word is. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, I might just kind of touch up some of those areas where it got too deep into the paper. Okay, so now I've finished putting the gold on, and I'll put it on the book just like that. And I think it kind of picks up the gold and the lace, and I'll just glue it on. And, you know, if I want to add, it's a little close with this here. If I want to add, you know, more embellishments on there, or whatever I do for a closure, but I think it adds just a little bit more interest. So I'm kind of happy with that. Well, thanks for joining me today as I work in my little tea journals, and I'm going to try to work on some different types of ephemera now with some tea bags, so that'll be in my next video. So I thank you for watching. Everybody stay safe. Bye now.